Hey guys, good to see you. Today, we are talking about finding your niche. And I'm super excited about this topic. Y'all, I'm so excited about this topic that I actually made a workbook for today's episode. So if you have not gotten that workbook, first of all, let me say this. If you got a workbook from me today in the first newsletter that I sent, that was like 4 a.m. And I put the wrong link in there. So I put an old Sell Out Your Workout boot camp workbook in the link instead of the niche workbook that I want to talk about today. So I resent that email. The second one says correction as the first thing in the subject line. So if you are on the email list, you have gotten the workbook in your email. If you're not on the email list, you can go to fitprosconnect.com, FITPROS connect.com/niche.html, and you will find a way to get that workbook there. So today we are talking about finding your niche. And let me tell you why. Your niche is everything to growing your audience and to growing your business. If you do not understand who you serve, if you do not understand how to speak to who you serve, then you serve no one. You cannot create a marketing message that resonates with a specific audience when you are trying to talk to everyone. And when you don't resonate with a specific audience, you don't resonate to anyone. That's just the cold, hard truth. That is the way it is. You guys, it's the scariest thing we do as fitness professionals. I work and coach with people on it every single day. It is the scariest thing that we do, but you have to make it happen. And I'm going to show you some quick, easy ways to make it happen today. So go grab that workbook. The link is also in the description of this video. So if you go to the top of the video and you click on see more, you'll see the link in there. Go in there, grab that workbook, and let's get to it. So here's what I want you to answer for me if you are here watching live. First of all, if you're watching live, give me a hashtag live squad. If you are watching in the replay, give me a hashtag replay. I want to see everybody tagging themselves in either with a hashtag live squad or a hashtag replay. And then I want you to tell me what's the closest thing to a niche that you think you're serving right now. So you may not be there. You may not feel like you have a niche per se, but you might have something close. You might feel like, I serve women over 40 or I serve new moms. And you may feel like there's a way that you need to chunk that down a little bit, but you're not sure exactly what that is. That's exactly what we're going to do today. So just give me the closest thing that you've got to a niche right now, and let's talk about it. And then as we move forward, you're going to be able to chunk that down a little bit further. All right, everybody got their workbooks? Let's do this. So as you guys know, this is the Fit Pros Show. This is the show that I created in order to serve fitness professionals with fitness industry information, business building resources, and to connect you guys to me and to each other so that we can all create direct-to-consumer businesses that help us step away from the gym, that allow us to serve the clients that we love serving, your niche, and to make the money we deserve finally. Am I right? Can I get an amen? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's make some money. All right. So I'm Kelly Coulter. I have been a fitness professional as well as an online marketing expert since the 90s. Every time I say that, I giggle. I can't believe that the 90s was that long ago. So I have been a fitness professional since the 90s. I have been an online marketing expert since the 90s as well. Today, I coach fitness instructors on building those direct-to-consumer businesses. I coach personal trainers on building those direct-to-consumer businesses so that you guys can do all the things we just talked about. And you guys are giving me an amen, so I know you know what I'm talking about. You guys, today I was working with one of my one-to-one clients, and we were talking about the difference between the word physical therapist and personal trainer and physiotherapist because she's in London. And that was so interesting because I kept on mixing up all the words. And you guys know I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. So I am a South Carolina girl. And I'm originally from Cleveland, but there is no Europe or London in me at all. And so physio, to me, I wasn't sure if that meant personal trainer or if that meant physical therapist. And so we had to like go through and talk about the definition of each of those things. And I found out that a physio is like a physical therapist. A personal trainer is what they call a physical trainer or a physical fitness trainer. So interesting. You learn something new every day. All right, y'all. So let's talk about your niche. I love this. I'm getting you guys submitting your information in here. You're telling me that you serve, I've got 55 plus, I've got women over 50 who want to start and maintain habits now that will allow them to stay strong through their lives. And yes, Martha is working on that. She is one of my accelerators and she is rocking that niche. And we're going to chunk that down even further today. All right, so let me share my screen and let's get to it. So I'm going to come over here. Here we go. All right, so identifying your niche and the beginning of the workbook should look like this. You've got this little, you've got this graphic that looks like a hill. All right, so it looks like a landscape, right? Let me make this bigger. That's what I want to see right there. Y'all, can you hear a lot of background noise here? I apologize if there's background noise. Some guys showed up right before I started to do my show today, and they're cutting a tree up in the backyard. So I apologize if there is background noise today, but we're going to get through this. All right. So here's the first thing I want you to see. If you've got that notebook, if you've got that workbook, you can circle this, you can make notes on it. Your niche. So a lot of people will tell you that your niche is, you know, this group of people. They all have like unique identifying factors and it's the group of people that you want to serve. I like to get more specific and more actionable when it comes to what I define as your niche. So for me, your niche is a group of people. So we're going to put them all together, right? It's a group of people. They have some specific things in common. But rather than us trying to identify what they have in common, I would rather you work with what you know. And what you know is what you want to sell or the solution you want to provide. You know either that you have something you want to do or sell with them, or you know that you have a result that you want to provide for them and you want to provide a solution that has a certain result. So if you were to say that your niche is a group of people who are actively looking to purchase the product you sell or the solution you provide, now you're really cooking with gas, right? Now, all of a sudden, you are so close to making that first sale or that next sale, you can almost taste it. So let's look at this graphic right here that has the picture of the house on the hill. And what you see is this whole landscape. You've got the trees, you've got the house, and then you've got the little target, the little setter there, setting point that's zeroing in on a tree, because what we want is fruit, right? If you think of this in terms of, we went to Yellowstone a few years ago, and in Yellowstone, I was out there. Anybody been there? There's that first ranger station that they ever had. We camped right by that first ranger station. And so it's this little cabin and then this beautiful vista with a creek that comes through. And then there's a mountain on the other side and you can see all of the wildlife on the mountain and it's gorgeous. And if you go into the ranger station, those guys are super helpful and they're passionate about wildlife and they just really want to do all the things. And so we would go in there and they would zero in on something that was happening up there. And it was funny because I would get on the telescope and I would be like looking and I'd be moving too fast, right? So I'm moving around and I'm trying to zero in on one little thing and my hand's kind of shaking and I can't get it zeroed in. So I've got all of this vista, this landscape to choose from as far as what I want to look at, and I can't get zeroed in on one little thing. But what I want to see is a white ram, because my husband really wanted to see one of those rams that's up on the mountains, like climbing on the little cliff. And it was so funny because the last day I was out in front of that ranger station and I'm doing my yoga and I'm having a gorgeous time. And there's buffalo over there. And I don't know, I was probably too close. I probably should not have been doing yoga that close to the buffalo. But the ranger comes out and he says, there's a white ram up there. And so I go just sprinting back to the campground and try to get my husband to get this white ram. And then he gets back and they've got the sight zeroed in on exactly where that white ram is, right? We would have never found it without them. That's what your niche is. That's what your niche is. It's zeroing in on exactly what you want. Now, part of this, you guys, the reason that it gets so hard and so scary is that part of it means that you have to claim what you want. And that is not easy for us to do because we've always just gone into the gym and done our thing. And then they handed us a check. And now we have to say, well, my favorite thing is, or the thing where I add the most value is, that's harder to do. It's really hard to do. But if we go back and we look at our little graphic here, you are never going to get a piece of fruit if you're just standing back looking at this whole landscape. You have to go to a tree and pick the fruit. Make sense, y'all? Let me know if this is landing with you. So that is why we pick a niche, because you have to know what tree you're picking the fruit from, and you have to know what fruit you want to get from the tree. You only want the ripe ones, right? A lot of us will spend some time. Well, let's go back. Let's look at this. So the hill is, you got to zero in on a hill first. If you had the telescope and you're at Yellowstone and you want to see a white ram, you've got to pick which mountain you think the white ram is on. And so you have to figure out which hill you're looking at. And the hill, in terms of your niche, might be the demographics of the clients that you're looking for. It might be a specific injury, age, stage, goal. It could be one thing that, and from that one thing, you get a hill full of trees. And the trees are full of fruit, and those fruit are people. Those fruit are sales. So the hill will get you to identify kind of where you want to be. And then the tree can get you further. So the tree is knowing the result of the one primary offer that will narrow you down further. So you have to know what you're offering. It has to be one thing. And you have to know what that result is, because that's how you talk to your fruit. And then the low-hanging fruit. So you can make a choice here. You can climb the tree and you can get the fruit from the very top. You can go rent one of those machines that shakes the tree and gets all the fruit to the bottom, and you can pick which one you want. Or you can just look up and figure out which ones are the low-hanging fruit and you can grab them. So by identifying the low-hanging fruit, you're identifying the members of your audience who are actively looking to purchase the solution or support you provide. So that's where I differentiate my definition of niche from other people's definition of niche. I don't want you spending time on the fruit that is not ripe. I want you to make these businesses a success. I want you to make these businesses work. And that means you have to pick the fruit that is ready to be harvested. All right. So if you move on, well, hold on, let me go down here and we're going to go through this in terms of these graphics. All right. So that's what it looks like when you zero in on your hill, right? That's still not close enough to the tree. Then we zero in on the tree. See, we're getting closer. That's the tree. And then the fruit. I don't think those graphics were super useful, but oh well. I had them there, so I wanted to show them to you. All right, so page 2 then of your workbook looks like this. It says identifying your niche, and at the top it says the hill. So what you are going to do is you are going to identify the things that Group your audience as a whole. And then when we look at the tree, you're going to chunk them down a little bit. All right, so the hill is the age or stage of life that you serve. It is the gender. Now, y'all, I know what you're saying. You're getting in your head and you're like, well, if I have to pick a gender, then I'm leaving 50% out. But if you don't pick a gender, you can never craft a marketing message that speaks to that exact right client. And if you don't speak to that exact right client, you don't get anybody's attention. Nobody's attention. So pick a gender or don't pick a gender if it's really not applicable to you. This is your business. You get to choose. I suggest pick a gender because at the end of the day, when I'm writing a marketing message, I've got one person in mind. I've literally got one person that is my next ideal client in mind when I'm crafting a marketing message. And that person has a gender. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they're non-binary. But if you serve non-binary, you can put non-binary here. All right. So it's another way to just identify a little bit closer who you serve. What kind of qualifications or education they have. Now, this does not mean that you have to say, I only serve PhD level people. It doesn't mean that you have to say, I only serve people who weigh less than 140 pounds. This just means that if there are qualifications, if there are things that you want them to have done already, or that you want them to know already, then you can put those here. You can put those in the qualifications and education section. So again, it's your business. It's all up to you. But you want to have some of these general demographic items filled out so that you know who you serve. Now, here's another big one. Does location matter? That's important because some of us are teaching strictly online, some of us are teaching a hybrid, and some of us are teaching strictly in person. So if you are teaching strictly in person, or even if you're teaching hybrid, location might matter to you. And that changes everything about the way you craft your marketing message. So does location matter? So you're going to fill these out for yourself. Then we're going to move down and you are going to pick your tree. Now, a lot of people want you to take, I'm actually going to do a drawing for you guys. And this is a drawing that I kind of conceptualized earlier today. So it may or may not work out for us, but we're going to do it. All right. So I want you to think of it like this. What just happened? Sorry, I took my iPad off the little port and then it just went black. So let me try that again. Okay. I'm so glad you guys cannot hear this guy. Oh, so you can hear Bad Doggy, but you can't hear the guy cutting the tree down, huh? That's interesting. All right, so if this is your hill of people, you've got all of these people and maybe they are 50 plus, maybe you've decided that you want them to know how to do step aerobics. So you're teaching advanced step and you want them to do step aerobics. I know that's not a really applicable example because not a lot of us are teaching step, but step is coming back in an athletic form in a big way. So let's say that you want them to, you're building an audience that's going to be some virtual and some in person. So you want them to be somewhere near you. So within 25 miles. All right. And then let's pick one more demographic and you want them to, I think that's enough. That's enough. We're good. All right. So within that, you have got different trees. You've got different groups of people. So let's say you've got men and then you've got women. And let's say you've got a group of women over here that's like 60. Women 60 plus. All right. So within each of these groups, you've got different pieces of fruit. So All right. So maybe you've got your women, and then you've got one man that identifies as a woman, and maybe you could go back and forth. I don't know. And then you've got women over here, but you've also got people that could be grouped in a different way. So I'm going to make them blue. So maybe these are people that have been doing STEP for more than 10 years. So maybe you got people over here that have been doing STEP for more than 10 years. And then maybe you've got a group of people that is more than 25 miles from you. So you've got some men and women in there that are more than 25 miles from you. And we're going to put some purples and some blues in there. All right, so you get my point. I've not only have I made little groups here, but I've also color coded them. And what that does, what I'm saying is that you could group people in a lot of different ways. You could decide you only want to serve the purple people. You could decide that you only want to serve the women, or you could decide that you only want to serve the 60 plus women, or you could decide that you only want to serve the blue people. Does that make sense, you guys? Here's what I'm saying is that the path of least resistance is to look at what you do, where you add the highest value in this world, and then say, who on my tree, who in my big circle wants the thing I offer? So this is going to require you to get super clear on what you offer and what the result of that offer is. Make sense? So for me, this might be really helpful. So for me, I serve fitness instructors and personal trainers who want to build direct-to-consumer businesses, right? And they want to make $50,000 or more. I really, that's where I live on my offer. So I've got people in my audience who maybe they only want to make 10,000 because they really only want to work like 2 hours a week, or maybe they don't necessarily want to go direct to consumer, but they're still kind of listening to what I have to say. Or maybe they're not fitness instructors. Maybe they're health and wellness coaches, right? I can serve all of those people, but the people who are actively looking to buy a support solution that costs $4,500 are going to be the people who want to make $50,000 or more. And they're going to be the people who are looking to build this business and make it into a real thing, right? So when I look at everybody that I can serve, I need to figure out who those people are who want that thing that I offer. My offer is a 12-month coaching experience that costs $4,500. So where are those people? Where are those people? That's the big question. Let me move on before we talk a little bit more about those, and I'll give you my example of where those people are. And this is going to bring it all together for you. But before we go there, let's talk about this. The low-hanging fruit are the people who are already in my tree and actively looking to purchase. So when I look at different ways that I could look at my audience, the people who are in my tree are the people who are in the Grow Your Fitness business group, right? And how do I know if they're actively looking to purchase? Well, first of all, you know that I'm out there having conversations with you guys all the time, and I'm supporting you whether you're ready or ever wanting to purchase from me or not. So I know kind of who has an offer that's right for what I provide. And I know kind of who is ready to get some support. So that's one way of identifying them. But then I can also look at other ways that I can speak to audiences that have already shown me that they're ready for this support. So for me, that means I need to be partnering with other businesses and products that serve fitness instructors and personal trainers who are building direct-to-consumer businesses. So the fact that I've become good friends with Khaled on Podio and Kyle at Interval and Denise with Muscle Mixes is always in my purview and in my radar. I work with all of these other people who are also working with instructors and personal trainers specifically because I want to be able to speak to fitness instructors and personal trainers who are ready to build a direct-to-consumer business. So you want to look around at your environment, at all of the organizations that you've been involved in the past, all of the organizations that you could possibly be involved with in the future. You want to look around and see, okay, where is my ideal client more likely to be? So that's why I go onto Interval and I do workshops for them, because I want people to see me and know that I'm the expert in helping you build your direct-to-consumer business. For you guys, that might look like, let's go back to the step instructor. So the step instructor decides that she only wants to deal with, or only wants to, not deal with, that was bad, only wants to work with women over 60 because she feels like she brings a lot of value there. She feels like she's got some strength training routines that are really applicable to women over 60. And so she only wants to work with women over 60. And let's say we're going to just do online. So we're going to take that whole local thing out of the equation. So now she wants to teach step aerobics and strength to women over 60. So where is she going to look for those women? So maybe she's going to go out into Facebook groups that are for fit women over 60. Maybe she's going to start making relationships with the admins of those groups. Maybe she's going to hold a step class at a community center and specify that it's only for women over 60. Maybe she's going to do some sample classes and specify that they're only for women over 60. So you're going to start to look in the places where your ideal client that is ready to make a purchase is. Is this landing with you guys? Does this make sense? And so the last page of your workbook then is, who are these people who are actively looking to purchase? Now, I think I went back, if I go back through the comments here, yeah, I see. So Jennifer is a great one. All people who have issues with balance, specifically Parkinson's, vertigo, seniors, osteoarthritis, osteoporosis. So she is working with balance. She's doing fitness, she's doing strength, but she's working specifically with people with balance. So if we were to chunk that down further and say, what are some of the identifying factors of those people? Like, what age range are they usually in? We can start to look where those people are. So Jennifer's going to go out and she's going to start becoming an active member in groups for Parkinson's patients and for vertigo sufferers. She's going to work with seniors. She's going to approach senior communities and talk to them about whether or not she can do some workshops or some type of, what we know for her is audience building, right, with their seniors. She's going to go into osteoarthritis and osteoporosis groups, and she's just going to make herself a part of that community. And then she may also approach the admins, if we're talking about Facebook groups, and see if she can contribute content. So on this last page of the workbook, we're going to look at who are the people who are actively looking to purchase. If I have osteoarthritis and I know that I need to work on my balance because I don't want to fall, maybe I'm out looking at groups for, it might be beginner yoga, or it might be balance exercises. So maybe that person is searching balance exercises. Maybe you call your Facebook group balance exercises for women with osteoporosis. And then what fruit containers exist? What groups are out there that I can get involved in? How can I get involved with that audience that is actively looking to make a purchase? which containers do you have access to, and which containers could you possibly gain access to? Now, again, when we gain access to a container, we're not looking to just poach members. We're looking to add value to these people's lives. We are service-based entrepreneurs, and we are servant leaders. So I am never suggesting that you are going out there trying to poach members out of groups. I'm always suggesting that you go out and you serve your heart out, and then you let those people who are actively looking for your solution identify into your ecosystem. So they see you, they get interested in what you're doing, and they come in. That's how we do it. All right, you guys. So what questions do you have about the workbook or about what I've talked about here today as far as niche? Hope that all made sense. I think it's going to really help you guys as you are thinking about your program. And actually, this workbook is going to be a prerequisite for that 3-day marketing intensive. So a lot of you guys signed up during the early bird period that ended last night at midnight. We are doing a 3-day marketing intensive. It's September 20th, 21st, 22nd. There's going to be a special invitation only session on the 23rd. And you are going to work with this niche and with your one offer. And we are going to get super deep into creating conversations. We're going to get super deep into ensuring that your offer is clear. We're going to get super deep into all the things that you need to do to bring in your first clients and your next clients. So I want you to get 5 clients by the end of that 3 days. We're going to do it because you guys said you wanted to make some money. Up here, I can see in the comments, amen, amen, amen. Let's make some money. All right, so if you are not registered for that 3-day marketing intensive, that is at fitprosconnect.com/marketing. So it's fitprosconnect.com/marketing, FITPROS connect.com/marketing. All right. And now it is time. I want to tell you guys about a client win because I have found that it is super fun to do a little celebration at the end of these sessions. First of all, before I do, if you have had a big win or even just a little win, you guys, let's celebrate something in the comments. So I want you to celebrate something in the comments. I see Jennifer says she just created her program and she's trying to she's calling it Improve Your Balance in 12 Weeks. So she's going for that transformational type program. And now she's working on identifying that audience and bringing them in. So you guys, before I move on, I need for you to comment with some of your wins that you've had over the last few weeks. What has gone well? What has, even if it's just like the one that I posted the other day about just being appreciative for water and white space. Just give me something. Let's celebrate. And while you do, I am going to brag on my client, Sally Head, who just finished her 12 months in the Virtual Studio Business Accelerator. And so I was having this conversation with her and I was talking about all the things, we were talking about all the things that she's doing. And we were talking about all the things that, all the money she's making, right? And when I first started talking to her, I was like, okay, you're making, she was saying, I think she was making like $1,500, $2,000 a month. And I was like, okay, that's not bad. And then I said, how many hours a week are you working? She's working 14 hours a week. So 14 hours for $1,500 to $2,000. I was like, okay, that's good. That's better than you were doing at the gym and you're not having to go anywhere. And then we started really digging in. So Sally does these series where she does 8 weeks in the spring, 8 weeks in the summer, 8 weeks in the fall, 8 weeks in the winter. And they all have different themes. And then she enrolls all these people in and brings them through this series. And when she told me her numbers, it didn't account for those series. And those series are making, Sally, if you're watching, correct me if I'm wrong. I know that they're making at least $4,000, if not $6,000 each. So she totally blew me out of the water because now I was like, oh, okay. Now we got it. Now you're really making some money. She did her year in the accelerator and she started last August. And she went through all those ups and downs, just like we all do, right? She was like super hot and she was doing all the things. And then she was finding what was working, what wasn't working. And the things that weren't working were feeling like bottom of the barrel. And, she was spiraling and we were having the phone calls. And then all of a sudden she just got it. And she just started bringing people into those series, and then she never looked back. And it was a beautiful thing to watch. So I want to brag on you, Sally. I want to say congratulations. I want to say I'm proud of you for sticking it out and doing all the things to make it work. And I see Marlene now has a website and a bot. Oh my goodness. I know that was a huge undertaking. Oh, Claudia wrote 6 short ebooks. And you guys, make sure you tune into Instagram at 2:00 on Thursday, because Claudia and Tanya are going to be on talking about healing trauma through exercise. It's going to be a really, really good session. Blocking time is going better. Yes, yes, yes. So that's something that Martha and I talked about recently, was blocking time out. Starting my second 6-week program tomorrow, my group. 5 new participants. That is no joke. 5 new participants is no joke, y'all. Nice work. Nice work. All right. So, you guys, if you are looking for results like Sally's, I, of course, always have the Virtual Studio Business Accelerator. It's something that you can book a call with me and we can talk about. I usually onboard new students at the end of the boot camp. So that happened in August, onboarded my new students. I've got room for a few more that I could onboard. But what I'm focused on right now is I have 2 spots where I'm doing one-on-one coaching with people who are really looking to grow their Facebook group really big. So if that is you, if you are really looking to grow your audience through Facebook groups, I'm looking to bring on a few one-on-one clients. We would have one-on-one sessions for 6 weeks, and we will grow your Facebook group, get it all set up exactly right, make sure Facebook's suggesting it, make sure all the keywords are in there, all of that stuff. So just send me a DM and let me know that you're interested, and we can book a call and talk about it. All right, y'all. So that is what I've got for you today. Come into definitely the marketing intensive. Book a call with me if you want to talk about growing your Facebook group. And yeah, that's what I've got. All right, y'all. I will see you on Thursday on Instagram, where we will have Claudia and Tanya there. And that is it for me. Love you. See you soon.